Miss or Megan had said that a number of you were in healthcare. How many of you guys are in healthcare?
I am. I am.
Okay. And then so in a little bit, well, the first thing that we're doing is the glow germ activity. So how many of you already do this with your students? How many of you have never done the glow germ activity?
I haven't done it.
Okay. So in your binders that Megan sent, you should see the glow germ activity. And it's after, let's see. So we have the aseptic technique and lab safety. And it's after that, but there's not a page number. Let me see how many pages. Maybe 7 or 8 pages in. Do you guys see the glow germ activity?
Which binder are you referring to?
In the box that Megan sent, there was a white binder and it has all the documents and the lab handouts. So I'll give you guys a second to find that page. And then does anybody do like aseptic technique with the 70% alcohol and like, do you guys use Bunsen burners or anything? No?
No.
Okay. All right.
Are we looking for the glow germ or the micropet art?
The glow germ, which is before the pipette art sheet. It should be the page right before it. I just want to make sure you guys can have it if you need to reference it. So, for those of you that are healthcare or environmental, and then I think forensics, maybe, I think she said I might have a forensics teacher in here. So, the glow germ, I think we all lived through the pandemic, right? So we know how important washing hands are to spread disease, etc. So, this glow germ activity allows kids to put this, you guys can see my little tube. You should have this in your box from Megan, and that's glow germ lotion in the tube. And then what we're gonna do is we are going to put some of this on our hands, just a little bit, and then rub it around like you would lotion.
Do we do it right now?
Yeah,
Okay.
let's go for it.
Okay.
Sorry. I was actually looking at Julie's cat in the window. Sorry. She's cute. Yeah, so you can put a little bit in the directions. It says like a dime size, nickel size amount, and then you just rub it all over like lotion. And then what you would have your kids do is go wash their hands like they would typically wash their hands. So if you guys want to take a second and go wash your hands, maybe pretend you're washing like your students might wash their hands. And then we'll come back, and Megan should have also sent you a black light.
Hello, I haven't received my package yet.
Oh no. Okay, well we'll catch you up. We'll make sure you're caught up with everything. But you should have a little glow germ tube. And a little bit of the lotion really, I mean, it goes a long way, but, and then the other thing for today is pipettes. Do you have any access to pipettes at your school or anything? No, okay. Well,
And
we'll
my-
make sure that you're good before we pipette, next week.
And in my packet, I only got one.
She might have only sent the 2 to 20. I just grabbed both. And then you guys should have, pipette tips that we'll need a little bit later. It should be like a box of pipette tips like this. Okay, has everybody washed their hands? Yes? And did you put the black light on your hands?
We're just opening and
Putting the
Wait.
black light stuff
yeah,
together?
the
Yeah,
I'm just
okay.
taking the batteries off.
So I guess I'll tell you guys a little bit more and a couple other things that you can do while you're getting your black lights together. So especially for healthcare, it's great at the beginning to show them how to wash their hands properly. So you'll have the kids essentially put the glow germ on their hands, wash it like they typically would, and then use the black light to see how well they wash their hands. And usually you can point out stuff that might be under their nails, or like I have 2 funky thumbnails right now that I'm sure would show the lotion. Or like the back of their hand. If they don't wash the back of their hands very well, you could still see some glow germ there. Maybe some of the deep creases. That's what you would typically see from a kid just washing their hand. And then you would teach them the proper hand washing, run the water 20 to 30 seconds, scrub all over, really get your nails and everything, and redo the black light. And they could see that they didn't have any more glow germ on their hand, so they could see the difference between poor hand washing skills and good hand washing skills. If you talk to anybody in healthcare or like biotech industry, anything like that, maintaining clean hands, being a little bit more aseptic is going to be super, super important for those, like those basic skills for those kinds of jobs. One of the things that somebody had suggested, and I'm going to do it next year, is to actually, like if I had a healthcare class or with my biotech class, I'm going to put glow germ all over my hands the very first day, and like high five kids coming in, give them like a good pat on the back, and then maybe put some random places around the classroom, just kind of smear it. And
Love
then
it.
after a while, they can see what everybody touched and like how the germs would spread. So I'm super,
I love that.
yeah, I'm super excited to try that.
I've actually done something pretty similar where I spread it on the back of a plastic clipboard that I then had them sign their names for attendance.
Oh, perfect.
And it got all over everything.
Perfect. Yeah, so that it's a really good idea. But a pretty simple activity. Do you guys have any questions about the glow germ hand washing activity?
This is good. I'm able to see it, and I'm trying it with my daughter too.
Okay. Yeah, I know they'll do the glow germ activity at like elementary STEM nights. They'll have the kids go in for like a hand washing station and stuff so that they can see. Any other questions? How well Do you guys clean your hands pretty well?
I was gonna mention that this is pretty cool. I used something similar to this in forensic science class last year, but it was mostly to find DNA and blood. But the germs is a new technique to use on there because it still, could be considered evidence as biological.
Right. Or they could put it on if they're like getting like pretending to get samples and you can see if they contaminate the scene or something. That would be really cool.
Where can we get more of this at?
You could probably order it on Amazon in like a bigger bottle. If you do this activity through the teacher training, Megan will send you some enough for your class. If I need extra, I usually just go ask our healthcare teachers because they usually have some on hand. But I think it's pretty cheap and inexpensive on Amazon. Okay. So we're gonna move on to pipetting. So if there's a pipetting lesson plan template that is in the book, and there is some pipetting papers that are in the book. And then if you guys might need a minute, you should have a 2 to 20 pipette in your box if you need to get that out. You should have a pipetting practice card. And then you should have 4 medicine cups that we can get each food coloring color in. And then if you want to have your goggles, gloves, petri dish, those are going to be all things that I'll give you guys a minute to grab and get ready. Pipette. It's okay. So I have my gloves on. Goggles are kind of smudgy. So, how many of you have used a micro pipette before? Has anybody used a micro pipette? So we might be looking at about half. Okay. So if you've used a micro pipette before and you feel comfortable and you want to start the pipetting, the color by number, if you guys are ahead, that's fine. For those of you that have not used a micro pipette before, they're not super cheap. So you'll want to grab your micro pipette, and if you look at the top, let me do this. You can see that the pipette has a range of 2 to 20 microliters. And when you're using the pipettes, I think one of a good idea is to actually have the kids get a graduated cylinder and like pour out 1 milliliter of water. Because if you borrow some pipettes from Megan to do the pipetting activity, did she give you the 20 to 200 or the 2 to 20?
2 to 20.
2 to 20.
Okay.
20.
So sometimes she might have to let you borrow more, but it's really hard for them to understand that 1 milliliter is 1,000 microliters. And so if you're pipetting 2 to 20 microliters, you know, that's like 2 out of 1,000. And it's crazy for them to see the difference in the amounts. And then this card can kind of help them see the difference. From 2 to 5, 10, 15, 20. And then if you have one of the pipettes that like the transfer pipettes that go to like 0.5 milliliter, that's 500 microliters. And we'll go over some of the conversions later, depending, if you're comfortable with those conversions, but it's crazy for them to see the difference in how small of an amount 2 microliters really is. A couple things about the pipettes. So you never want to use a pipette for a volume that's outside of its range. So even though these pipettes, you can move them down below 2, it's not going to be accurate. So you don't want to go below 2 and you don't want to go above 20. And these pipettes, so this is what 2 microliters would look like. It would look like a black 0, a black number 2, and then a blue 0. So the blue spot on this pipette is going to be for the decimals. So if you had 2.5, it would say 0, 2, and then a blue 5. And that would be 2.5 microliters. And in order to adjust it, you can move this black part right here, or you can spin the white top part on these pipettes. You never want to use a pipette without a tip. So if you have your pipette tips, if you want to, let's see, open the box. And then you kind of just like bear down on the tip and it should put it on securely. You never want to use the pipettes without a tip. You never want to have liquid in the tip and then like put your pipette upside down or lay it down. Because if water gets into the pipette or in liquid or food coloring, it'll start to mess up your pipette. In the book that Megan sent you, there are some basic rules of thumb about using the pipette, and that's the stuff that I just went over. The food coloring, when we get to it, is a great idea because it shows the students that you want to use a new tip for each color that could represent different samples of DNA. So you don't want to cross-contaminate between your samples. Does that make sense? Okay. So if you have not used a pipette before, if you could set your pipette to, let's do 5 microliters. So it should look like 0, 5, and then the blue 0, so 5.0. And do you guys have your food coloring ready?
Yes, it's ready.
Okay. So if you just want to take maybe pick one of the colors, it doesn't matter which one, but when you're going to pipette, if you kind of feel the pipette pushing down on this white knob, you'll feel this resistance. But then if you push further or harder, you'll see that it can actually be pushed down further. So if you're at your desired volume, which we'll just start with 5, then you'll push down to that first stop, that first point where you feel pressure. And then you're gonna put the tip into the food coloring and slowly raise that white knob. And then you should end up with, let's see if I can show you here, the smallest amount of blue food coloring in the tip of the pipette, or in the pipette tip. Okay? And if you want to put it on your card, you'll go to your card, and then what you're going to do is this time you're going to take this knob and you're going to push all the way down. So you're going to push through that first tension spot down to the next second stop. Does that make sense? So I'm going to push down to the first spot, the first stop, and then I'm going to push the rest of the way. And for you guys that, I don't know if you can really see that with a glare. For those of you that teach anything about cohesion and adhesion, when you go from the first stop down to the second stop to release your sample, that's going to break that cohesion and adhesion when the water is stuck to itself and stuck to the end of the tip. So if you push, and you can practice, if you push down only to the first stop, there's still some sample in there. And if you're doing anything like forensics, or you're taking DNA for samples, or running PCR for COVID or something, you want to make sure that you get the right amount that's supposed to be there. So being aware of your first stop, that's the correct volume. And then to dispense the correct volume, you go all the way to the second stop.
Tricia,
Yes.
are we supposed to place the petri dish on top of the card so that we don't have to worry about the mess later?
Yes.
Or
Yes, you will.
Okay.
Yes, we will when we get to that pipetting. I just want to make sure everybody feels comfortable with the pipette, with changing the volume, with the tips, with the first stop and the second stop.
thank you.
You're welcome. And then if you get pipettes from Megan, because I have to do a lab where they actually weigh stuff out. Like my kids I watch them pipette. It's a grade, and I watch every single student pipette, and I give them different pipettes and different volumes, and they have to do everything correctly. But my class needs that. Your class, you can have fun with pipetting, and then they can do gel electrophoresis that we'll do next week or the week after. But if they pipette incorrectly and pipette from this second stop up, when you're pipetting larger volumes, it's the difference of like 0.2 of a gram. So it makes a huge difference when you're talking about the medical field, or like pipetting for medicine or something, because it could be the wrong amount of a drug in a concentration. Does that make sense? Is everybody good with pipetting? Do you guys have any questions? Some of you guys are probably already gone to work on the so Mini PCR has this really cool pipetting sheet, and some of you guys have already probably started it, but basically what you're going to want to do is just put your petri dish over the I don't know, let's see, let me move my thing this way. Okay, put your petri dish over that first circle, and you can do design 1 or design 2. And then it tells you which color and how much to pipette and where. So then for this first one, if I did the first one, I'm gonna change my tip because I'm on a different color than I was. And I need to set my pipette to 10 microliters. So it should read on your pipette 1 go. It should read 100, and then you'll grab the yellow down to the first stop, raise it slowly up, and then you're going to put it over one of the 10 like honeycombs, and then you can push all the way down to the second stop. And you're just going to keep building as you move your petri dish from the yellow color to the red color to the blue color. Does that make sense?
Yes.
One last thing, and then I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves. You can, if you like pipetting or pipetting is important in your subject, you guys can give them stipulations and actually let them come up with their own art. It's really cool what colors they'll mix and how much they'll mix and what they end up creating. So if you have a little bit more of like a STEAM, like an art based, it's really neat. So do you guys want to go around and tell everybody your name, where you teach, how long you've been teaching? We can go ahead and do that. Who wants to start? Okay, I guess I might have to call on somebody. So I'm just gonna go. Or is Rachel
start.
going?
Oh.
Okay.
Mhm.
Can you see
Yes.
me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. My name is Rachel Popham, and this is my 5th year in education. I actually have a lab background also as a lab tech, but I teach healthcare science in, where do I teach? Jackson High School in Butts County.
Awesome. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet y'all.
Okay, Nikita, do you want to go?
Yes, I just can't get my camera to turn on, but I promise I'll show my face next time. Of course, I'm Nikita here, and I teach at Cedartown High in Polk County. This is my 5th year teaching, but my 2nd year here in Georgia. I'm actually from Florida, and I teach biology this year. So I don't have experience in lab tech. I came from the environmental science.
Okay, so it was kind of quiet, but if I heard you, it was your 5th or 6th year teaching, and you're teaching biology, and you don't necessarily have a lab background.
That's correct.
Okay. There's some really good, we're gonna do like a Kool-Aid chromatography and stuff. There's some really good labs that you can do with your biology kids. I think it'll be really, really beneficial.
Yeah, I can't wait, actually.
Awesome. Julie?
I am Julie Scott. This is my 23rd year teaching high school at Bibb County Rutland High School. And this year I've got environmental science, biology, and gifted biology.
Awesome. Cool. Okay.
Hi, this is Marissa. I teach at the same school as Julie. Julie actually introduced me this program, so thank you, Julie, again. This is my 21st year of teaching. I taught 5 years in the Philippines and the rest of the years here in Georgia, the same school, the same county. I teach AP Bio, biology, gifted biology, forensic science, and yeah, enjoying teaching. all my life. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you. All right, Miss Davis.
Hello, I'm Shamika Davis. I'm also in Bibb County. Shout out to Julie for telling me about this as well. This is my 9th year teaching. This year I teach biology and honors biology. In the past, I've also taught environmental and human anatomy. So we don't have pipettes at my school. I have a lot of experience pipetting, but I'm hoping that that I can help train my students to do this activity.
Awesome. Alfreda.
Hey guys, my name is Alfreda, and I've been teaching for 16 years now. My background is in respiratory therapy. I did that for about 15 years as well, so I still practice when I can. And I'm excited about doing this. I have, some lab background, but not really with my students. So I teach health, intro to healthcare, essentials, and allied health and medicine.
Awesome.
And I'm
Rebecca?
sorry, and I'm at Stockbridge High School in Henry County.
Okay.
Okay.
Rebecca.
Hi, this is my 6th year education, but this is my 2nd year working in biology. I'm interrelated special education teacher. So I was really excited to join this class so I can teach my students some more hands-on activities they can use because they don't really like biology too much. So I'm trying to make it fun for them. So I'm glad Department of Education brought this class up. We were able to participate. And we don't have any of these in our resource class, so it was good to have these materials on hand as well.
Awesome. And Scott.
Yeah, I'm Scott Cole. I'm a teacher at Forsyth Central High School. This is my 23rd year teaching, 24th year. I can't remember which one. And I teach honors biology and environmental science this year. Also have a background in AP environmental, being a AP consultant for AP environmental. So
Cool. Crystal.
Hello. Oh, this is weird.
go for it.
I am a colleague with Scott Cole. I teach at Forsyth Central. I've been teaching for 21 years. I've taught honors bio, regular bio, AP environmental, human anatomy, scientific research. I had a life before teaching, BT. I was a lab tech for 5 years or so. Animal research at Wake Forest University Baptist Medical School. So I've been in teaching for 20 some years now. So, and we're just, we're pipetting away. So.
All right, great. Stephanie.
Hello, everyone. I am Stephanie Conley. I am a principal. I've taught middle school science for the last about 16 years, but I've been in education for 22. My school is moving to middle and high school this year, so I want to have a more firm understanding of high school science under my belt. That's why I'm taking this class.
Awesome. Okay. And then last. I'm gonna let you say your name.
My name's Shay Banks. I
Okay.
currently teach healthcare science with Fulton County at Creekside High School. This is their first year of having healthcare science. I was previously a medical assistant instructor for 15 years. So I've transitioned into grade school. I taught middle school last year. So this is my 2nd year in grade school. That's it.
Okay. Well, it's so nice to meet you guys. I think for environmental science, biology, honors biology, I didn't hear any physical science or anything like that, but all of these labs that Megan's gonna have us do really apply to a lot of different components in the standards. And so any ideas you all have or want to share, or things that you've done in the past throughout this experience, please don't hesitate to do that, because we have some new teachers and we definitely have some veteran teachers, so that's great. And then so I teach biotech, and biotech falls under healthcare. And so if there's any labs that we're doing where you guys have experience where what we are doing fell into any of the healthcare or any of the lab jobs that you guys did, I think that would be great to share, because it just shows relevance of the skills and the activities that we're doing in real life, not just, not just doing them. So I'm really excited about this training. Is everybody getting there? I think is it a crab and a butterfly? I think. You guys pipetting away? Is there any questions that you have while we're pipetting?
Yeah, Trish, I do have a question. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
We use in AP Bio, we do gel electrophoresis activity, and we use the cheaper version of pipettes, and they are not really that accurate. But anyway, my question is, there are 3 digits, right? I'm not sure if mine is working really well. The top digit, I cannot seem to adjust it. So I think there's 3 digits, right?
Correct.
For the very top. So it seems like it's not moving, and I mean, it's not changing the digit at all, no matter what I do. So is there any, am I making some, is there anything that I need to do to calibrate it correctly? Or?
Can you show me what yours looks like on your computer, or try to? It's real awkward. So is it not, it's not like it's letting you change the when you move the black or move the white, like the black roller part. If you move the black roller part, does it work? Like this part right
here? I mean, I seem to, I mean, it rolls, I mean, it moves, but the top digit does not change.
But is not going past 1.
Does not.
Where does it stop? Like, where does it let you scroll to?
I can only move the second and the blue one.
So some of them,
it's stuck in the very top. Does you see 1 there?
Yeah. So can you try to go past? So what numbers does yours say? 1?
Okay, because I've been moving that, so I can see when I move, turn it counterclockwise. It's 1, 4, 2, and then 1, 4, 3, and then 1, 4, 5. It does not change. The 1 on the very top does not change at all.
So can you go to where it's like 1, 6, 1, 7?
Okay, I can see 1, 6.
And then keep going to 1, 7.
All right, 1, 7.
1, 8.
Okay. 1, 8.
And then 1, 9.
Yeah, I can get 1, 9.
And then you should keep being able to go the way you're going, and it should reach 20. But 20 is the max of this pipette. So it's only gonna be to 20, and then the blue 0. But if
Okay.
you keep going, you can actually go past that. Like I can get mine to 20.6, but you don't want to push the pipette further than what its limits are.
Yeah, so it stops there. Yeah, I can see the 2 now. So I'm just
Okay.
gonna go reverse, right? To get that,
Yes.
bro.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
No, you're welcome.
I also have a problem with my pipette. It won't turn at all.
Oh. What does your number say? Is it like jammed up below 2 or above 20?
It's 227.
Okay, so that's going to be pipetting 22.7 microliters. So it's
Okay.
jammed up past.
Okay.
So if you try to go the other way, like it, so let's see. So you want to go counterclockwise is going to make your pipette go up in volume. So clockwise is going to make it go down in volume. So you want to try to turn yours clockwise. And that's a no.
Nope.
Okay, then maybe let me write it down, and it maybe if you email Megan and I can email Megan, maybe she can get something
Okay.
else out, because you'll need the pipette. You don't have any at your school?
No.
No, okay. All right. So I will. All right. So I can let her know, and then if you want to email her too, maybe
Okay.
she can get one out real quick. But yeah, we have, students that push them to the either above or below where they're supposed to be, and then
Yeah, I think it happened when I was trying to, my problem was the same as Maria's. I was trying to change the top number because the top number wouldn't change. And then all of a sudden I couldn't do anything. So
right.
that's what happened.
Okay.
I don't know.
My husband works right next door. And so if any of them stop working in my class, I just send the kids over and leave like the broken one in his class and then have them grab me one of his.
That's a great life there.
Yeah,
Right
like,
next door to fix
we need to
everything.
go swap this out. So it's kind of a joke between our students.
That is lovely. That's funny.
Yeah. But I can stay on. I mean, we're supposed to go till about 6:15. But pipetting is where we end. So if you guys are good pipetting and don't have any questions, then you guys can have a good night.
Thank you. You have a good evening too.
You too.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate
Thank you
it.
so much. Take care now.
You too.
Have a
Tricia,
great night.
if you
You
could
too.
do me one more favor and
Yes,
just run through how to use the pipette one more time.
absolutely. So with the pipette, a couple things just general. Never use it without the tip. Never upside down, never with liquid upside down. And then whatever the range of the pipette is, you never want to go outside of the range. To move are you good with like adjusting the pipette for volume?
Yeah, I'm on 10 right now because I'm trying to work through the activity.
Okay, so if you go to the 10, I gotta get mine to the 10. It's hard with these gloves on.
Right.
Like they keep getting jammed in the thing. All right. So when you go and you have your pipette at 10 and it reads 1, 0, and then the blue 0. So it's 10.0. You are going to want to press this down to the first stop.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when you want to get the
My liquid.
sample.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And so you'll, keeping it pressed down to that first stop, you'll go into the sample with the tip. And then slowly raise up your finger. And then you should have the liquid in the pipette tip. Or the
Okay.
sample. And then when you want to put your sample like in a gel for gel electrophoresis or whatever, you will take your sample and you'll have this all the way up, and then you'll end up pressing it all the way down to the second stop. So you can see if I do mine the first stop, you can still see some of that like silver. And then if you press it down to the second stop, you can't see any of that silver. And
Right.
it's hard, like it's hard on your thumb to press it down all the way. But then when you press that down to the second stop, that's going to release all of your sample. If you only press it down to this first stop, it's not going to release all of your sample.
So let me ask another question.
Yeah.
So should my tip touch like the card, or should it touch the Petri dish, or should it just like hover over?
You can touch the you can definitely touch the card or the Petri dish. We are going to practice doing gel electrophoresis. That's going to be a little bit more tricky because you're pipetting into like a space. So we'll talk about that when we get to it, but you can definitely touch the card and the Petri dish. And like when I go around and watch my kids, you know, sometimes it's like this, you know?
Right.
And even for me, I usually grip this wrist so I'm not all over the place.
Okay, that gives more stability.
Yes.
Okay.
So, but yeah, on these you can touch both of those.
And then my last question is, as I'm doing the Petri dish activity on top and piping, I'm going to be going over some of the same numbers twice, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I didn't want to make sure I was on the right direction.
And it should change their color a little bit. Like I think for the crab, you put a lot of the red and the yellow together to make orange.
Yeah.
If I remember right.
Okay. All right. I do like that wrist technique. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, all my kids find a way to be a little bit more stable.
And this is really going to help me like support like new teachers who are moving into the science area, and because like in middle school, we rarely use like this. So
Right.
This is like my first time since college handling this again. And that was a long time ago.
And it's really nice if you want to tier activities, because you said you'll have a middle school and high school together.
Like it's a 6 through 12 charter school.
Yeah, so when they're learning about like gel electrophoresis, or when they're learning about electricity or something like that, they can do gel electrophoresis and they can see how different molecules with a negative charge repel against the negative charge of the electrophoresis machine. So they can
and
see
that would be really good for our physical science, especially our honors, our 8th graders who take the high school physical science course in 8th grade. I mean, it's good for all the kids, but the majority of our kids do take that in 8th grade, and that would be a good lab for them to do.
So there's little aspects of all the labs that a lot of different classes can do, because you can take gel electrophoresis again and modify the activity, and now now they're seeing that DNA is negatively charged. DNA is going to migrate and separate into bands, and you can compare stuff for, have the kids make cladograms, like if each band represents a trait, or each band represents a sample that has a different species in it, or, you know, you're comparing, oh, well, this is the crime scene, here's the suspects, or here's
Right.
the mother, the father, and the kid for paternity. So there's a lot of different things that the activities apply to.
Mm-hmm. Well, I appreciate you so much, and I
Yep.
definitely will more than likely be emailing you for some support.
You're very welcome, and like my husband and myself are always here if you need it, and Cynthia too, she's great. So any of us you can email, and we can give you any labs that we have, anything.
Would you also be open to having like if I wanted to come do like a visit to your classroom or anything like that, would your school be open to like that, something like that?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
we're a STEM certified. So we have visitors come in all the time, and our admin and Mark and I are really big on like promoting biotech, hands-on science, and so is our admin.
Okay.
So,
All right. So definitely I'll be reaching out. Thank
okay.
you so much.
You're very
And
welcome.
have fun at the field.
Oh my gosh, I know they're like ranked second right now. And it's,
Oh, that's amazing
yeah,
then.
they're just, it's 10 youth, so it's lighthearted, but then it's also serious. So
Right.
it's fun. But thank you so much, Stephanie.
All right. You have a great one.
All
Thank
right,
you.
you too.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
Thanks.
Bye, Matt.
Yeah.
Do you need anything?
I don't think so. I think we're all set.
Okay, do you have any questions